What is your American dream?
My American dream is to be able to pursue whatever I want, and right now that's art, and I'm getting to do that, so it's really exciting.
My American dream is just to thrive and be liberated and move as freely as I want to.
My American dream, just to be passionate, to build relations with humans, with one another, to connect. I don't think it matters what we're doing as long as we're positive and helping one another. You can't go wrong.
My American dream is I want to be a part of making a good change. I want that for my children and for everyone's children and for everybody.
My American dream is for everyone in America to actually feel like they can achieve what their American dream is.
My American dream would be to bring colors and smiles on the faces of people who like my jewelry and bring a more positive outlook on life.
My American dream is to be able to help people out, help them de-stress a little bit. Just for a second with any of our plans and I'll be happy.
My American dream is just to be happy and live and travel and do whatever I want to do because I'm free to do that.
My American dream is to unite a lot of people with our common interests, which should be protecting and making sure that the earth is healthy and good for the next generation.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Wow, I really love this tree. It's really nice, but I feel like something's missing. I know what's missing. There's no ornament that represents my ilk. There's gotta be a groundhog ornament somewhere around. I'm gonna go on a search. That'll really bring the whole thing together. All right, let's see what I can do. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be perfect. 5 ornaments get 20% off. Well, I need to find a groundhog ornament to go with my Brad star. Let's go see. Wow, look at all these ornaments. There's gotta be a groundhog ornament in this place. Okay, let me go check this out. I mean, I'm looking everywhere, and they've got every type of animal you could see. A horse, a fox. What is this? They've got 2 types of foxes. A polar bear. What is this? This is a raccoon! They even have raccoons! They should have a groundhog! Oh my god! They've even got a squirrel! Squirrels like my friends the squirrels in the park! This is untenable! They even have a penguin! What is this? It's a beaver! How do they have a beaver but not a groundhog? Oh, I'm insulted now. I cannot believe this. This place has every rodent ornament under the sun except a groundhog. Here they have a beaver. May I remind all of you people that beavers eat their own poop. This is just ridiculous. All right, I'm leaving. You know what? I'm just going to take this into my own little groundhog paws. I'm going to remedy this situation right now. No groundhog ornaments. That's ridiculous. I'm just going to look online. I bet you they got something. I mean, come on, we're groundhogs. We're very special. People want us on their ornaments. Perfect, perfect. This is perfect. Oh my gosh, and I can get it by the next day. This is perfect. Come on, Jeff Bezos. You gotta hand it to you, Jeff Bezos. You got great stuff on your site. Of course you would have a groundhog ornament. Ha 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 ha. Hey, Belgium Kim, I need your credit card. Perfect, perfect, perfect. See, there's always more than one way to skin a groundhog. Now this is perfect with a groundhog ornament and Brad's face as the star of the tree. Nothing better than this. Anyway, did you miss yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Brad spoke to director co-producer Shadon Majidi and executive producer Dino Chawoussis about their short documentary film called Me, the Other. The film started out to be about the immigrant experience, and then they expanded it to talk about how lots of different people can feel like another when they feel like they're not necessarily accepted in society because of whatever reason it might be. It's a beautiful film about a diverse group of 12 students from 3 universities in Michigan. Definitely check it out. And now's the time you've all been waiting for. Brad Show Live, starring Brad, Bernstein, and co-host Belgium Kim. Yay! How awesome is my tree? I love it.
Welcome, everybody. Wednesday, December 12th. You know what Wednesday means? Besides the fact that I still don't have my voice, it also means it's hump day. Welcome, everybody, to Brad Show Live. Welcome, Belgium. What are you typing?
I'm typing it to our Brad Squad.
Squad
Squad.
I thought you're doing work or something.
Well, I mean,
you're like
my
sending
work never
emails
stops.
out. I'm like, we're doing a show, and I'm just like seeing her going like this, and I'm like, what's going on?
The work never stops, Brad.
The work never stops. I'm like, Belgium Kim, we're going live on the air, and you're like writing emails out.
I don't know if you remember this, but my initial role on this show was to talk to the people, Brad.
It was very true. That is very true. For those who don't know, when Belgium Kim was originally hired, she was hired as the social media manager. And that's when we were doing our radio show. Mm-hmm. And I called her in while we were doing the radio show. And it was right when we first turned my telephone around and started filming on Facebook Live. Before we even thought about building a studio, Brad Show Live, Jilly Bean, Julian the TriCaster guy, Jenny from the Cubicle, before anybody even knew those people existed.
What a journey.
Right, what a journey we have been. Pat Rice, right?
Right.
All right, a yo-yo, right, before we even knew a yo-yo.
We didn't know what a yo-yo was.
We didn't even know what a yo-yo was. There was Belgium Kim.
It was Belgium.
On the radio show, okay, and all she was supposed to do was, like, if somebody said hello to us on social media, she would go back and write, hello.
Hello.
Then all of a sudden that role turned into, like, every so often you would say something on the radio show, pop in.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you were like a regular on the radio show.
Right.
And that turned into, we got to say hello to the Brad Squad.
Yep.
All right. And that's where it all, everything kind of materialized from there.
Exactly.
Right? Because before that, we never even thought of saying hello to the Brad Squad. It was just Belgium Kim like, oh, some people are saying hello to us on social media. We should say hello back to them. And now it's turned into, we have a whole thing about saying hello to everybody, right?
It's got to be part of the show.
That is correct.
They are the fuel.
It's amazing how the show has developed, right? What a change.
I had a little wax poetic moment this morning on the train.
What was the wax poetic moment?
I was just like thinking, what we've accomplished.
We've accomplished
in
a
the
lot.
last year and a half.
250 shows
live. Yeah, 251 after today.
We're now 251.
Yeah.
Right, still no balloons.
No.
Still looking for the balloons to come
Brad,
down. There's nothing there.
It's a 300 show.
It's a 300 show?
Yeah, it's got to be a round numbered show.
How many shows do you think Seinfeld did?
Oh, not nearly as many.
Not nearly as many. I'm trying to compare, in a year and a half.
Oh, in a year and a half, no one.
Has anybody done 250 live 2-hour shows in a year and a half?
The Today Show?
Maybe.
I guess.
They
do 5 days
Yeah, they're doing 5 days a week like us, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Kelly Ripa.
And I think they're 3 hours, right? Kelly Ripa, perhaps. All right, so we're all right. So
we're in good company.
But I was thinking, you're right. I was thinking we're the only ones in the world to do this. No,
there are other daily shows.
And in 9 years, according to Wikipedia, Jilly Bean, right in my ear, says 189 episodes in 9 years. We did 250 episodes, 180 episodes in 9 years.
Wow.
Okay, and we have entertained people for 250 episodes in a year and a half. Not that I'm Seinfeld. I'm Bernstein.
Right.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But we kind of schmooze here, right?
We do.
We schmooze.
I feel like honestly we're funnier than Seinfeld.
And we've answered lots of burning questions that people have had.
Just burning.
Burning.
Yeah. Set fire.
Set fire to them.
The studio.
The only answer to the goddamn question right now is set fire to the studio. I don't think anyone's ever said that.
No.
Has anybody ever been angry with me answering an immigration question?
Not that I've told you.
No, have they been like?
No, they really haven't.
No, even like Tony yesterday, who said, remember Tony from Nigeria yesterday?
Yeah.
Called in, and he says, I watch your show all the time, and I called before, Brad, and you were very insulting to me, but I like the answer anyway, and now I'm calling back again. But I don't think I was ever. I don't know. I don't remember being insulting to anybody.
No. You have a very honest way of putting things that sometimes people don't know how to react to. But it's tough love. I always like to say.
Tough love.
He tells you what you need to hear.
Exactly.
Folks.
Exactly.
If you've been sitting on your butt for years, not filing, not doing anything, Brad's going to be like, stop sitting on your ass and not doing anything.
By the way, Belgium Kim, I think we should really get into the show because it's Hump Day.
We probably should.
People love Hump Day.
I love Hump Day.
You love Hump Day.
It's my favorite.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is this like your Hump Day Wednesday? I mean, is this your personal Hump Day?
As in, like, is today
the day that it's going to happen?
No, Brad.
No, it's not. Like, you don't come home. You don't come home to your boo and you say, "Boo, it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day," and start ripping your clothes off.
That sounds like the saddest.
Is that Julie the TriCaster think Wednesday's his Hump Day?
Oh, that's exactly what he meant.
Is that what he did?
No, Brad. Who plans it out like that? That would be so sad.
We plan it out here on Bradshaw Live. Hump Day.
Yeah.
We plan it out every Wednesday. It's Hump Day. What do you think? I can totally see you coming home like, babe, it was like, I loved it. Babe, all those news stories from Hump Day.
It's got me in the,
It got me in the mood. It got me all riled up. It's Hump Day.
That's true. Nothing like a woman who marries a ghost to really get you in the mood.
By the way, I was perusing through these.
Were you?
And I saw we have more women who marry ghost stories. It seems to be
It's an epidemic.
It seems to be an epidemic of women marrying ghosts. But you don't see men marrying ghosts.
Because we are, as women, I think we are just tired of the male BS. So we'll be like, it's fine, I'll marry an invisible one.
I think it would be harder
Yeah.
for the male to marry the ghost.
We did have a guy marry a hologram.
I will be saying hello to people. Yes, Jill. I will. Don't worry. We're just going off subject right now.
We're slowly
going to amble there. Yeah. Jillie's like, are you going to say hello to anybody soon? I think we should then.
We should.
All right. Malia Loban Martin, squat up. Christy Kinsali, how are you? Jealous Shorter, squat up, my darling Malia.
Oh.
Wow.
Just Malia gets gets love?
Lisa Bling Rose, hello, Uncle Brad, one love. Groundhog Sam saying hi to Christy. Cece Mitchell, what's going on? And Jacqueline Joelle Deere. No, just call me Joelle Deere.
Joelle Deere, Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy.
It's the only way I ever.
Abigail Taylor Watson, how are you? Cordella Douglas, what's going on? Christy Kinsali, and who else we got here? Malia Loban Martin, Asset Lindo, Marge Higgs, Noah Gelos. Doesn't even say hello, just goes right into the question. But hello. Zara Khan, also going right into the question.
These people are going to play
today. And of course, on YouTube, our new favorite way to watch Bradshaw Live. Avzaleh says, squat up, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Let the fun, unscripted comedy immigration show begin.
That's right.
That is exactly what this is,
Why are you going to steal my comments of the day like that, Brad?
That's exactly what this is. Ruthie Cutie, squat up. Nezzy Show TV, how are you? Ja Love. Carol Anderson watching on both. Lady Leah, Ashley Thomas saying hello to everybody. BK Ricky, we still don't know what BK means.
Damn. Solve the mystery for us, BK.
It is driving me crazy. Marge Higgs, how are you? Princess Black says good evening and welcome everybody. And Julie Bean is in my ear saying we got to move this show along because we could be schmoozing forever here.
She's right. We haven't even started schmoozing yet.
She is. Jessica Levy says, I love how Uncle Brad pronounces my name.
Those are some dedicated fans.
Those are some dedicated names.
We
Jessica
can mispronounce your name,
right.
And you'll be like, "That's how I want to go by anyway." Now, that's some dedicated
just call me
fans.
Joelle Deere. All right, I think we got to get into schmoozing here, right?
Do too.
Let's see what we got here.
Let's do it.
Something we like to call schmoozing with Brad.
Yep.
So, if you saw today, Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's lawyer.
Yes.
We got some hard news today, Kim.
Hard news on Hump Day.
Hard news on Hump Day.
Okay.
All right. So we got some hard news here.
Absolutely.
Right in. Okay, slid right in this hard news.
Oh, good God.
All right. You got to have that hard news in on Wednesdays, right?
Thanks, Brad.
Yeah. Michael Cohen, former lawyer for President Donald Trump.
Right.
He was sentenced to 3 years in prison and denounced Donald Trump at his sentencing, saying, I felt it was my duty to cover up his dirty deeds. and his dirty deeds, his meaning Donald Trump. Cohen said at his sentencing, he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. His children were there crying. His wife was there crying as well.
That's heartbreaking.
He said his blind loyalty to Mr. Trump led him to ignore my inner voice and my moral compass. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Whether he has a moral compass, we don't know, but certainly if he did, it was absolutely ignored.
It was ignored, absolutely.
Okay. In addition to the 3-year prison sentence, Judge William Pawley, who I have been before actually,
Really?
yeah, imposed more than $1 million in restitution for Michael Cohen.
Wow.
So Michael Cohen's got to pay back $1 million. He also has to forfeit $500,000 to the IRS and has to surrender by March 6th. Now, Cohen pled guilty in 2 separate cases. One brought by the federal prosecutors at the Southern District in New York and Manhattan for the illegal payoffs to Stormy Daniels and the other Playboy playmate. What's her name?
Catherine McDougal.
Catherine McDougal.
Yep.
That was basically an illegal campaign contribution, and also lying originally to Congress and to Mueller, but then coming clean.
Right.
So Mueller's investigation, though, has uncovered many things that went beyond this whole Stormy Daniels thing, including there was some sort of pay-to-play with Donald Trump building a Trump hotel and condominium in Moscow, where he was going to give, according to news sources, Vladimir Putin the penthouse in return for allowing him to build at a very inexpensive tax rate or no taxes, because Putin would just get the penthouse and that would be the tax.
Why would he need taxes?
And then from there, apparently some relationship developed between him and some Russians and some of Trump organization and Russians in trying to turn the election towards Donald Trump. I think that's ultimately where Mueller's going.
Right.
He has discovered from different sources, including Michael Cohen, that these were things that were ongoing. So when Donald Trump said during the election campaign, he had no business with Russia, that was a false lie.
What?
And apparently, Mueller got caught with lying when he was trying to tell the truth Manafort. Manafort got caught lying to Mueller when he was required to tell the truth, because Mueller is getting all this information, including from Cohen, from Michael Flynn. So he's getting it from multiple people that these things are coming out. Now, ultimately, this is where I think this whole thing's going to go.
Tell me.
Okay. If it's going to be a situation where it was just Donald Trump trying to pay off Stormy Daniels and this other Playboy playmate, and he lied about it, ultimately, he's not going to get impeached for that.
Right, not it.
And the reason is this. In order to get impeached, this is what has to happen. Okay? You have to have half of Congress, half of the House of Representatives impeach you.
Okay.
Democrats will be able to do that come January.
Right.
Okay. Then there goes to a trial. Impeachment means like in a criminal case you're indicted.
Okay.
So the House of Representatives is the body that indicts you. It's like the grand jury in a criminal case.
Okay.
Okay. Then it gets sent to the Senate for the trial to actually have him removed from office.
Okay.
Okay. Now you need 2/3 of the Senate
and that's
to have him removed. So they're going to need at least 20 Republicans on the Senate side.
Wow.
20 Republicans at least on the Senate side to be able to actually remove him from office.
Okay.
They'll be able to impeach him and get him to a trial, but they need 20 Republicans to actually remove him from office.
Okay.
Assuming every Democrat would vote to have him removed also.
Right.
If it's just campaign law violations, you're not going to get the Republicans to do it.
It's not going to be enough, right.
You're not going to get them to do it. It's not going to be enough outrage to get them to remove, to at least the Republicans, their hero.
Right.
It's their hero.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The Messiah of the Republican Party.
The Messiah of the Republican Party.
Right.
So Mueller has to come out with a lot more than campaign law violations.
Right. He paid
Stormy
adult
Daniels
film
off.
actresses.
Correct. Right. So we don't know to what extent Mueller has in terms of Russian involvement with Trump. It would have to be so egregious,
Right.
so horribly disgusting,
Right.
on the level of this Saudi Arabian prince killing Khashoggi,
Right.
where you have the Senate Republicans going up against Trump saying, no, what happened was so egregious,
Right.
was so bad, we're not going to support you in supporting Saudi Arabia.
Right.
It would have to reach that level in order for the Republicans to turn on Trump.
Right. And for the facts to be that irrefutable.
Correct. Now, we don't know what Mueller has yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
But that's a hell
right
of a
now,
standard.
that's a high. I'm just telling you, that's my Brad Bernstein standard in terms of, and you see
You're
that
right,
from the incoming members of the Democratic leadership.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
like Gerald Nadler, who's going to be heading the one of the caucuses that's going to be investigating. I think I forgot which one which committee he's going to be the head of, but he's going to be the head of one of the committees that ultimately is in charge of investigating what happened with Trump. And he said, unless they get Republican support, they are not going to start impeachment because it'll just look all political.
And they're absolutely right.
Right, it'll all
The
look
House
political.
Judiciary.
The House Judiciary, thank you.
No problem.
All right, so that's what's going on in the hard news.
Okay.
Belgium Kim. In soft news.
Oh no, not soft
We
news.
have some soft news, too.
I so prefer the hard ones.
No, you're going to like this. You're going to like this. In
Okay.
soft news, Buju Banton,
Yes.
right? His name is Mark Anthony Marie.
Yes.
He's been released from prison. For those who don't know, he is a Grammy Award-winning reggae artist from Jamaica, and he was imprisoned by the United States for, I think, at least the last 6-7 years, since February 2011.
Right.
Since February
Oh
2011.
my God, 7 years.
Yeah, for drug offenses, narcotics offenses. He was jailed in Miami. He was finally released. He's now 45 years old. And he was originally a 10-year prison sentence that was reduced to 7 years. And now he is apparently released. He's back in Jamaica, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's going to go on a world tour.
Yeah.
The world has not seen him perform in 7-8 years. One of the best top reggae artists of all time. Beloved,
I'm so excited.
but for obviously something he did wrong.
Right.
And we are happy at least that we're going to hear his music again.
Absolutely. He's
That's
already
most
released
important.
new music too.
Yeah.
The studio was the first stop on the way home.
And there he is with his daughter right now, who is happy to see him
No kidding.
return. The rap artist P. Diddy posted a message on Instagram. He said, "Today is a glorious day. Buju is free. Let's go."
Yes.
And Shaggy, I don't see the quote from Shaggy. I don't have a quote from Shaggy.
Shaggy said, "Welcome
And
home."
Shaggy said, "Welcome home." But it's not on my card,
Welcome
so how
home.
would I know what Shaggy said?
Belgium Kim may have dropped the ball on that one.
Belgium Kim dropped the ball on that. All right, but nevertheless, welcome home.
Welcome home, Buju.
And of course now, Belgium Kim, we've done the hard news.
Right.
We've done the soft news.
The soft news.
But we haven't done hump day news
The
yet.
completely flaccid
The
news.
the news. It's the news that only somebody who walks on a train
Right.
and wants to wreck that train
Right.
would announce on a show. That is what we call hump day news.
That is what
We
we-
walk on a train and we say, we're going to wreck this train.
That's true.
It's going to be an absolute train wreck of news. Train wreck of news. But we like to call it Hump Day Wednesday, right?
Hump Day
Do we have
Wednesday.
anything for Hump Day?
Killing me. Killing me.
It's something...
You're the worst.
That looks weird.
That looks
All
so
right.
weird for if that's the hump
That's
day
the Hump Day
card.
card until we have something new.
Oh no.
That's the Hump Day card until we have
Oh,
something
no.
new. We had nothing to announce Hump Day.
That's creepier than your face on top of Groundhog Sam's tree.
All right, so the MTA.
Yes.
The MTA Belgium Kim.
What in the world?
They originally had up a advertisement for a modern bidet for people who like to poop.
Who doesn't like
Yes,
to poop?
the ad was depicting men and women on the toilet. There it is, with the slogan, "Nothing says I love you like a clean butthole." Now these ads were going to go up, and then another ad said, "Consider my whole life changed." HOLE. And this was going to be for the MTA for a bidet company that's selling $99 bidets. And you can go and buy them, and I guess it's an attachment that you put on your toilet to clean yourself.
Did you say it was a $69 bidet?
A $69 bidet. That's what it is. It's $69.
Really
$69, and you can have your whole
cleaned.
It's amazing amazing how they came up with $69, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine how they got there.
How'd they come up with that one? So unfortunately, the ads got pulled.
What?
So you'll only see these ads on Bradshaw Live. You will not see them on the subway anywhere. They got pulled for being too risque. Too risque. Now, the company called Outfront. Outfront runs the advertisement for the billboards. But the company called Tushy LLC. Mm-hmm. All right, appropriate name.
Love that.
The CEO, Jason Oliveo, said that he can't believe that they would pull his ads, yet the MTA has the Sex Museum and forhims.com, which is a grooming company. That those ads are okay. He says that is total hypocrisy.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Absolutely. You see raunchy ads all the time.
Yeah.
The Museum of Sex
ads this is for clean hygiene.
Right.
As Jason Oliveo, what's his name? Jason Oliveo says.
Yeah.
This is like Purell for your butt.
Exactly. You wouldn't say no to a Purell ad.
What is this picture?
Yeah, okay.
What do you think of this? You think this should be on or should not be on?
Right. That's the thing is like
what?
It's still gross even with a bidet.
Yes. But why are they having a conversation while
she's pooping?
While she's pooping. Does that happen, Kim?
Absolutely.
Not even on Hump Day Wednesdays. At some point you need some privacy, right?
There are no days. I could be in a relationship with someone for 10 years and we cannot be having a conversation while I'm pooping. That's just, peeing is fine, pooping is a line I draw.
Christy Gonzalez, I will answer that question when we're done with Hump Day. She wants to know if Bougie will be able to come back to America and perform.
That's a good question.
We will answer that question. We will answer that question after Hump Day.
Okay.
News. Meanwhile, talking about holes.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
There was a typo in the Jamestown, New York Post Journal. Mm-hmm. They did a expose on Julia Roberts.
Okay.
And instead of saying that Julia Roberts wants to find her life and new roles gets better with age, their advertisement came out, said Julia Roberts, their headline in the Post Journal, Jamestown, New York newspaper, says Julia Roberts finds life and her holes get better with age. Julia Roberts' holes are getting better with her age, and that was the big article there, right there.
Wow.
Yes, and Twitter had a field day with this.
Of course they did.
Of course. At Busy Phillips said, "This is why she's a movie star. My holes have only gotten worse with age. Her holes seem to get better with age."
Exactly, all that money.
Yes. And at Mark Harris in New York City said, "Never dictate the headline over the phone. You know, PR person should know better than that."
That's really funny.
Yes. And Jenny Noyce made the comparison to Julia Roberts, role in Pretty Woman when she yells out the line, "Big mistake, huge."
Yes.
Huge.
Big mistake.
Yes.
You guys work on commission, right?
Exactly.
That's a great
So meanwhile, we can't go through Hump Day, Kim, without somebody marrying a ghost.
Of course not.
Okay. So apparently earlier this year, a woman by the name of Amanda Teague, she is a 45-year-old Jack Sparrow impersonator. And she's from Northern Ireland. It's always Ireland and England that these weird stories come out of, right?
Apparently there's a lot of spirits.
What the hell's going on over there? Well, she wed a 300-year-old pirate from Haiti named Jacques. And he seemed like an unlikely union. Okay, and they were married, and in a private ceremony on international waters off of Ireland.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because they couldn't find anybody in Ireland to actually marry them legally. They had to be in international waters. Jacques was unable to get the marriage license. He really was having problems getting the marriage license.
What kind of ad do you put
So
out?
she had to get the marriage. The marriage was done on international waters.
Of course.
Okay, obviously the only person who could see the groom, there was lots of people invited to the wedding, photographers, okay. And the only person who could actually, the bridesmaids there, nobody actually saw the groom except the wife.
What?
But she was very happy. And so Teague did not hire a priest or a rabbi,
because they can't
a
see
justice
him.
of the peace. Nobody could see him. They had to hire a medium.
Oh, God.
Yes, they tried. They first asked for Whoopi Goldberg, from she played the medium from Ghost, right? But she turned down the gig.
do it.
So they found some other medium who and the medium stood in for Jacques, and she said Jacques, to the astonishment of the crowd on the boat, the bridesmaids and everybody, Jacques says, "Yes, I do. I will marry you." So everybody was very happy. It was a beautiful wedding. Okay, the medium stood in for Jacques, and they had a big party. They even did a horror. They put Jacques up on the it's the lightest thing in the world, on the chair. It was so light. By the way, it would be the only horror I would ever take part of. If you ever been to a Jewish wedding,
I was gonna say it's part pirate, part Jewish wedding.
Part pirate, part Jewish. If you ever been to a Jewish wedding, okay, at some point there's a horror where everybody dances in a circle and everyone goes up in the chair.
Right.
As soon as the chair comes out, I go running to the bathroom because I am not lifting anybody on the chair. I'm breaking my back. But Jacques, I would have lifted up on the chair. All right, but every other horror, I'm like, where's the bathroom? I'm out of here. So in any event, there was a lovely wedding, Belgium, Kim.
That's fantastic.
It was a lovely wedding.
Dude.
Everybody was happy, and they thought it was going to last forever. But unfortunately, Amanda has taken to social media now. She's the one who's alive. Okay, because Jacques doesn't have a social media handle.
Or fingers to
right.
post.
She doesn't have any Instagram account, Jacques.
Right.
So Amanda went to social media, and she said, unfortunately, so I feel it's time to let everyone know that my marriage is over. I will explain all in due course, but for now, I just want to be very careful when dabbling in spirituality. It's not something to mess with. So it sounds like maybe Jacques was abusive.
Wow.
Do you think Jacques was abusive a little?
But, I mean...
an abusive spirit from the 1700s?
Maybe he was emotionally abusing her?
I don't know.
If he was physically abusing her, there was a real case to be made for
I don't know, but she said it's not something, don't mess with spirits. It's not something to mess with. Teague said she interacted with the entity over several months and claimed she began to develop feelings for Jacques. And it was over 6 months of communication. But about a year after they met, her ghost lover, apparently things just didn't work out anymore. And apparently the marriage is over.
Damn.
Now, how do you kick the ghost out of your house? You're like, get the hell out. The ghost doesn't leave. It's the whole idea behind being a ghost. You stay in the house. Like, get the hell out of my house already, ghost. I mean, what do? The marriage is over.
Right.
You want to get the ghost out of the house. The ghost ain't leaving. That's what ghosts do. They stay in the house and haunt you forever. And it brings a whole new meaning to, my ex-husband is haunting the crap out of me, right? How do you get this ghost out of there?
Does she have to go into international waters to file for divorce?
I don't know, but how do you get the ghost out of the house? You're like, all right, we've been living together. Babe, it's time to leave now. I don't want to be married to you anymore. And the ghost doesn't leave.
Are you asking me who you're going to call?
I don't know. Who are you going to call to get the ghost out?
Ghostbusters.
You get Bill Murray to come.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray.
Here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's going to be Harold Ramis,
yes.
Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray just showing up.
Meanwhile, Dolly Parton, right?
Oh, I love Dolly Parton.
Okay, so apparently Dolly Parton was on Jimmy Fallon the other night and claims that she and her husband, whose name is, what's her husband's name?
It's
Carl Dean Thomas.
Yeah.
I don't know who Carl Dean Thomas is. That's who he is.
Yeah.
And there's Dolly Parton. She came and said that their fantasy is to have a threesome with Jennifer Aniston.
What?
Yes. She says, I love her to death, Parton instead of Aniston, who stars in the coming-of-age comedy. My husband is crazy about her, and he was more excited than I was going to do a movie with her. And then he said that I got the chance to write all this music. I think he fantasizes about having a threesome with her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let's watch the video. Maybe.
I think he kind of fantasizes like a threesome with us.
Wait a second.
my God.
I mean, he can't even get it out to pee, much less get it up to
So he can't get it out to pee. He can't even get out to pee, but he's going to have a threesome with Jennifer Aniston. So Aniston on social media said, my mouth just dropped, and then I laughed my butt off. That's Dolly Parton. All right, so that was kind of funny. Just I like that he can't get it out to pee.
Yeah. But he sure can't get it up for 3.
But how's he going to get a threesome if he can't get it out to pee, right?
That's true.
All right, so finally, we have two more finalists.
Okay.
And then we're going to get to our immigration questions, by the way.
Okay.
All right, and let's see. We have one person on hold for immigration questions, because people must be watching this saying, how the heck could I ask this guy immigration questions? I have serious legal problems. And this guy's talking about, Julia Roberts holes and Dolly Parton wants threesomes.
Surely he can't be an immigration expert.
Surely he can't be an immigration expert. That's why I said today on Wednesday, we just get on the train and we crash it.
Absolutely.
We just crash this goddamn thing. Right?
Could you imagine? I always feel bad for the people who join us for the very first time.
They're like, what the heck? This guy is going to represent me?
Even Lady Lee is like, I can't on this Wednesday. I need a strong drink.
Oh my God! Right. How can you go? It's hard. It's hard.
What is, Brad?
I was going to say, not it is hard. I'm saying it's hard. No, not it's hard, Kim. I'm saying it's generally hard. No, that doesn't make sense either. What I wanted to say was, it's difficult, Kim.
Okay.
It's difficult to go from one topic to now go be serious with immigration.
It is.
Very difficult.
The transition can be very...
The transition is very, very difficult.
It's a stiff transition.
Right, so meanwhile, there was this Danish photographer, Andreas Hivid. He released a video and a series of photos Friday which showed him and a naked woman on top of the Egyptian pyramids.
Ooh!
Now, before I even go further, that is like, these like dead people in the. You're like naked on top of somebody's grave. What is wrong with you? You think about it. That is sick. You're naked on top of somebody. Somebody was buried in there.
People bang in cemeteries.
That's really sick. So apparently these photos were not very well received by the general public of Egypt, which you would think would be pretty conservative, along with the Egyptian government. Egypt's Minister of Antiquities, Khalid El Anay, has ordered prosecutors to investigate the validity of these images and look into whether Hivid and his model friend really filmed an explicit pornographic video atop the pyramid. One former official has indicated that the footage and photo is fake because there is no way anyone can enter the pyramid areas at night.
Okay.
And the size of the stones don't match.
Okay.
Let's see. Can we get a close-up of what's going on there?
You want to do
I want to see the close-up. Can we get a close-up? Yes. Why is the top of the pyramid flat? They're having sex on top of the pyramid?
Yeah. The top is flat.
Whose purple pepper is that? Whose purple pepper is that?
Vice News is purple pepper.
Vice News is purple pepper. So that being said, it must be noted that others have tried to scale the pyramids. Let's try to deduce this and see whether or not this is a real picture.
Are we going to Sherlock this?
We're going to Sherlock this. Okay. So there have been other people who have tried to climb the pyramids.
Right.
So it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible it happened. There was a German man who was arrested in 2016
for climbing
the pyramid. Okay. Now the Danish outlet Ekstrabladet.
Great. Your Danish is fantastic.
Ekstrabladet, the Danish outlet.
Perfect, as we all know.
They claim that they interviewed this guy who says that the photos are absolutely real. And he's now going to stay out of Egypt in the future, as he probably risks being arrested if he goes back.
Right.
He said he and his partner are obsessed with planning and making this happen. Now, this is what he says how he did it.
Okay.
We're going to Sherlock this and see if this makes sense.
Okay, ready.
Okay. He said he and the woman stuck across the fence well away from the pyramid and slowly made their way towards the pyramid. When they spotted the guards, they hid in the temple for an hour and a half.
Oh my God.
Waiting for the traffic to pass, and had a route to the monument all planned out. Once they got on the side of the Great Pyramid, they were able to scale it just in under 30 minutes. Nobody saw any of this. Alongside the photo, Hivid also released a video of their stunt, which shows the couple sneaking around and quietly climbing the pyramid at night. At the end of the video, the woman, whose face is blurred, takes her shirt off and looks at Cairo down below. The two took the photo when they were bumping together doing the nasty. Hivid did clear up the biggest question of all. and said that his model buddy were not having sex, but they were just posing.
Okay.
I don't know. It looks like they were having sex. It seems the photo has offended people on two fronts. Now, based on those facts, Belgium Kim.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the photo.
Okay.
Is this... We have no idea if this is true or not. It has not come out. Is this a photoshopped photo, or do you believe his story?
I gotta be honest. I think I believe him.
I say, we don't know the answer
We
to
don't.
this, but we are going to follow up.
We
are, and if necessary, we are going to send Yo-Yo out
to Egypt.
To Egypt with his girlfriend, if he has one, or just whoever he happens to be with on that particular night. We're going to send Yo-Yo out to Egypt to try to follow this exact instructions.
Follow the map.
We're going to tell him, go hide in the temple, wait for the guards to leave, scale the pyramid, and then there's a flat surface on the top of the pyramid, get naked and have sex. So let's see what happens.
And film it.
Film it and see what happens. We're going to see if it's true or not. And by the way, I'll tell him, don't worry, if you get arrested, we know some lawyers.
We can bail you out.
We'll bail you out.
It'll be in the Bradshaw Life bail fund. But honestly, though,
I think that's fake.
if you had the opportunity to do it on top of the pyramids, would you take that opportunity, Brad?
If I'm allowed to.
No, you're obviously not allowed. You can't climb the pyramid. But
How would I get up there?
You'd scale it the way you just got a map.
Sure, why not?
See? Oh, yeah.
And now I'm a rule follower. I wouldn't do that.
I was gonna say you wouldn't jump the fence in the first place, but if
Yeah,
you
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
I think I would.
I'm a rule follower.
You are.
All right. So finally, Belgium Kim, before we get to our immigration questions, because we got a lot to cover here.
Yeah.
The new sex study came out, listing the favorite positions of millennials.
Oh, Jesus, help us all.
Did you see this card already? Do you know the answer to this?
I do not know the answer.
You do not know the answer to this?
I do not know the answer.
Are you swear on your life?
I swear I do not know the answer.
Because if you've seen this, then I'm not going to ask you.
No, I do not know.
You do not know the answer. Okay, what do you believe? Drum roll, please.
Yeah.
What do you believe is the favorite sex position of people your age?
Of people, I'm gonna do this. I heard that millennials have less sex than previous generations.
Like Gen X?
Right? Than the Gen Xers and the baby boomers.
Right.
Apparently,
I'm a Gen X.
You're a Gen Xer?
Right.
Apparently, my generation has less sex. So for that reason, I think that we're gonna be a little bit boring, and I'm gonna go missionary.
You would have been right 2 years ago.
Oh.
2 years ago, the same-sex survey that it was 36% of millennials said missionary was their position.
Right.
Is that you, Kim?
Is this picture
Is
me?
that a picture of you?
No.
That is not you. Is that your legs?
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Is that you, Kim?
Also not me.
Not you also.
I'm in none of these
You're none of
pictures,
these pictures.
I guarantee it.
Okay, but now the number one position for millennials is doggy style.
What?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
yes.
hey, my people.
So other findings
Yeah.
that, I can't even say this stuff. Millennial Democrats are having 13% less sex than a year ago, while 49% of Republicans have reported trying at least being tied up or bondage at least once.
Oh my God, kinky
Yes.
Republicans.
Doggy style? Why can't I say doggy style?
You can't say doggy style?
What?
Oh, I don't like any of those
I don't like any of those
sound
sound effects. And geography was a major point in this study. Atlanta ranking first in the city with the highest. Oh, I can't even read this. How could you even put this on my cards?
I don't know. What is it?
Atlanta has the most orgasms of any city in the entire United States of America.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
Gotta move to Atlanta.
39% of Atlanta residents.
Uh-huh. They're getting it.
They're getting it.
They're getting it done.
They're getting it done.
Yes, Atlanta.
Yes. Something in the water there. Something in the water or the food.
Wait, that other stat is amazing too.
What was that stat?
39% of residents in Atlanta say their partners are amazing in bed.
Yes.
More than any other city.
Damn. We gotta move to Atlanta. All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, there's our update news. Kim, it's time to get off this train wreck.
Oh my God.
All right, we're still alive.
Sweet Lord.
Thank the Lord, we're still alive. And now, Kim, before we get to our immigration questions,
Yeah.
all right, as I told you, it is difficult to change directions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to use the word hard to change.
Please don't.
It's very difficult
Yep.
to change directions. Why don't you tell everybody to please share and let everybody know we're going to get serious and answer your immigration questions then.
All right, you guys, you already know how to do this, but I'm going to tell you anyway. You are going to hit the share button. It's going to be at the bottom or the top of your screen, depending on what you're looking at. And it's going to be, you're going to share it onto your own timeline, into groups that you're a member of, on your friends' timelines, people you haven't talked to in a while. And on YouTube, I'm actually going to ask you guys to do two things. I'm going to ask you to copy the link and send it to all of your friends and family on WhatsApp and in texts and whatever. But I also really, really, really would love for you to subscribe. Subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell so you get a notification every single time we go live.
And with that, Kim, it's time for me to do something that I really know what to do. It's not hard.
No.
It is not hard for me to do. I'm going to answer your immigration questions now. There we go. All right, Jonas, who must be like mortified to now ask me an immigration question all the way from Des Moines, Iowa. Jonas, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. How are you?
Good, good. What's going on, Jonas?
Yeah, just very quick. I have a question. I had my asylum interview last December. Last year in December. Yeah, it's been I think a year now. So I don't know what next, because at that time I couldn't afford an attorney.
So when you said you have no result from your asylum interview?
Yeah.
So you went.
Since I did the interview, I didn't know.
Okay,
I don't know what next.
So this is all right. This is the answer. Okay. We first have to establish, what your asylum claim is. Did you present a good asylum claim? Because if that's the case, we're going to want to push immigration to make a decision. If you're in a situation where you have a terrible asylum claim, based on our analysis, maybe you don't want to push them to make a decision. Maybe you're better off you never hear from them again. So step one is let's determine how good an asylum claim you have, and that would be done by us reviewing what you've submitted and having a consultation with you. If we determine you have a really good asylum claim and immigration's sitting on your case and you should be approved, then we're going to write them a letter and saying, hey, approve Jonas's asylum claim. Now, that's not going to do anything. They're going to ignore us. And then 15 days later, we're just going to sue them. It's called a mandamus action. And we're going to be bringing in, we have a fantastic federal litigator here at Spar and Bernstein. His name is Abadir. And that's all he does is sue the government all day. And come January, we're going to have a whole series with Abadir about suing the government and how you do it and how you take action into your own hands. But in the meantime, that's what you would be doing. You would be taking action into your own hands. You'd be filing a mandamus, force them to make a decision. But you only want to do those in situations where you know you're going to win. So the first step is win, meaning win your underlying asylum claim. So the first step is let's make an analysis of do you have a good claim or not. So hold on one second, okay? Let's go to, we have somebody from Karachi, Pakistan. Ahmed.
How you doing, Brad?
How are you?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Good.
What brings you to call me from Karachi, Pakistan?
Brad, I've been seeing your videos for a long time, and I think you tell the complete truth.
Thank you.
You're honest
Thank
clients, and I think with all the research that I've been conducting, your research comes out a lot more superior than other attorneys that I have spoken to.
Now, Ahmed, let me ask you a question. I assume I don't know anything about you, but you sound like you have an American accent. You don't sound, were you in America at some point in time or lived in America?
I lived in the U.S. for 27 years.
Okay, that sounds like it. What happened?
Okay, 27 years living in the U.S. I have basically, when I was about 30 years old, I got caught for a controlled substance.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me take a step back. When did you come to the United States of America?
When I was 7 years old,
You were 7 years old. Who brought you to America?
Yes, sir. My mother and father.
Okay. And you had a green card when you were 7?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
You can call me ma'am. It's okay. I've been called a lot worse.
I don't want to call you.
I know. I'm kidding.
Brad.
Yeah, you can call me Brad.
Okay.
I'm just okay. So, were your parents citizens before you were 18?
My parents turned citizen when I was, I think, about 26, 27. I'm not really sure because they passed away.
Okay. All right. And then you lived in the United States. When was the first time you got arrested in your life?
To be honest with you, I never had a conviction until the age of maybe 29 or 30 for a controlled substance. Okay.
What was the controlled substance?
It was meth.
Okay. And what state was this in?
This was in California.
And what year was this that you got arrested?
Sir, to be honest with you, I don't know what year I got arrested. But I do know the year that I got deported.
What year were you deported?
And 2001, June.
Okay.
Okay.
And did you go to, before you were deported, were you in jail? Were you just...
Yeah, yes, sir. I was. I pleaded guilty to it. I didn't know the consequences whatsoever. I went to a rehabilitation center. No rehabilitation would take me in. At that time, rehabilitation centers were all completely full. Then I did 6 months in the county jail. Then they told me, well, you have to do another 6 months. Got caught again for a parole violation. He told me you have to do another 6 months. I did another 6 months. Turned myself in, actually. They didn't have to come and get me. Turned myself in. Again, I tried to fight the case. No one told me about anything that, if I pleaded guilty to it, that I would, facing immigration or anything like this at all. I don't even think so. My memorandum rights were even read to me, All
right. Well, all right. So you got deported in 2001. We don't know what year you pled guilty to the initial drug offense. And then you were found guilty of some parole violation. So it's actually 2 convictions. And ultimately you got deported and you've been in Pakistan ever since. That's basically it, correct?
Sir.
Yeah.
And I pulled up my record from the USCCI, and they stated that I have an aggravated felony with a controlled substance. Okay? And that's all I have on my record now.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
All right. Well, I don't know whether you do or you don't, because I don't know what you were actually found guilty of, and we don't know what year you were found guilty of. Now, if you are an aggravated felon after April 24th, 1996, you get deported every day of the week, and there's nothing anybody can do. So a lot of times the lawyer's job is to argue you're not an aggravated felon, especially if your conviction happened after April 24th, 1996, because if you're an aggravated felon, there's nothing you can do. You're going to get deported. If, on the other hand, you're an aggravated felon and your conviction was prior to April 24th, 1996, then you're eligible for a 212C waiver. Now, it's also possible that your drug offense was before April 24th, 96, and your parole violation was after April 24th, 96. And it's possible that your drug conviction prior to April 24th, 1996 is not an aggravated felony. However, a parole violation of a felony is an aggravated felony, so it's very possible that you're an aggravated felon from the parole violation, not from the underlying drug. I don't know any of this. I'm just basing it based on my own analysis of what you're telling me. The only way that I would be able to truly help you, is for me to actually request, not look at your records, for me to request from ICE your entire record all over again, for me to review it and then advise you what, if anything, can be done. Now, the only thing that would ever be done is if there was some sort of violation of your rights. And then it's iffy or not, whether or not you can do something 20 years after the fact if you're in Pakistan. But that would be the only thing you can do, because you have a drug offense, and with a drug offense, you can never come back to America. Your parents were citizens after you were 18, so we know for sure you're not a citizen. So basically, if you want some closure to this or want our help and see maybe we can help you, we basically be hiring me to look for a needle in a haystack. And we would get your records and see what we could do to help. So hold on 1 second. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I know you're calling from Pakistan, and I want to give you all the time. You know, it's not you're calling from halfway around the world.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But ultimately, I can't give you more. I can't give you more help unless I see all of your records. So that would be the next step, if you want to move forward.
Okay. Now, at the end of the day, I did less than a year. Okay, because
but I know, but now, but again, I would need to see your records. You're going to tell me you did less than a year, you shouldn't be an aggravated felon. I don't know until I see exactly what you pled guilty to. All right, so it's not for drug offenses. For some offenses, you told me you did less than a year. Like for example, a theft offense where you do less than a year, that's not an aggravated felony in all 50 states. So I would say, okay, well then they made a mistake. Drug offenses, you could be an aggravated felon on a drug offense and never spent a day in jail. So the time in jail is not going to matter for a drug offense. I really need to see the records. So hold on 1 second, all right? All right, let's go to Lynn in West Haven, Connecticut. Lynn.
Yes, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm blessed. What I'm asking, I filed for my son April of this year, and I'm a citizen, and he's in Jamaica. I'm wondering how long does it take for him to get through?
How old is he?
I filed for him April of this year.
How old is he? How old is he?
I said how long?
How
it takes
old?
For him.
I'm asking a question back. How old is he?
Oh, sorry. He's 34.
Okay, and he's single.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's about 6-7 years.
Okay.
So don't sell the property yet. Don't quit his job. Eventually, he'll get you. All right.
No, he's still on the property in Jamaica.
Okay, fine. All
right, thank you.
All right,
Have a blessed afternoon. Okay, all right. Bye-bye.
Let's go to Aisha in Cincinnati. Aisha in Cincinnati, Ohio. Aisha or Aisha.
Hey, Brad. How are you
today? What is it, Aisha?
Yes, it's Aisha.
Aisha,
yes.
how are you? Okay, what's going on?
Okay, so I'm going through the same situation that we talked about last time.
I don't remember what we talked about last time. I speak to a lot of people, so I apologize.
Okay, yes, about my husband's situation.
Tell me again from the beginning.
Yeah, so, okay, he has a deportation order.
Uh-huh.
And we also have an approved I-130.
Right.
Yes, and also, but any attorney that I speak to says that it's better for him to just leave the country and go back to his home country to get a visa and come back inside the country.
No, I'm sure I told you no last time also. That's like
yes, you did.
It's like the worst thing in the world to do.
Okay.
Why would you leave and self-deport? You try to reopen your case and it's just here. Why would you do that? And then if you are going to leave and self-deport, you don't actually leave and self-deport. You reopen your case and do a provisional waiver so you can actually come back. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure I told you this last time. I don't remember our conversation, but I could almost guarantee you I would have told you the same exact thing last time.
Yes,
so,
I did speak to, different lawyers. I called them and they just keep telling me the same thing. That's why I think I need to speak with you privately on the phone, I think, if that's okay.
Yes, hold on 1 second. I think you do. Let's go to Monique in Baltimore, Maryland. Hi, Monique.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good too.
Okay, so my situation, I came here on an H-2B visa, 2016, overstayed, got married. I sent in the petition, but the problem I have now, I had to file a protective order against my husband because he was abusive. However, before that, I did a police report. We went to court. The judge issued a protective order for a year.
Mm-hmm.
I got the transcript. The problem is I was trying to file for my son, who is 4. He's in Jamaica. However, I haven't received it because my husband has them. We don't talk. I'm not trying to violate the protective order.
This is what happens. You're filing an abuse case now. So you got to get your abuse case approved. Once your abuse case is approved, your son is a derivative to that abuse case. So then you transfer the file to Jamaica, and then he comes with his green card. But that's going to be another 1.5 years, 2 years from now by the time that all happens.
For him?
Yes.
Because the petition, I had already started it.
No, your husband started it, and he's not going to complete it. So now you have a new case. Mm-hmm. So your new case is, I'm an abused spouse. And the way an abused spouse petition works is, you file your abuse case, You file your I-360. I hope you filed your adjustment as well. You get approved as an abused spouse, VAWA petition. Once you're approved, your son is derivative on that case. And then you transfer your file to Jamaica to have your son come up as a following to joint family member.
And you said that process is going to take like a year and something?
Your process is going to take a year and a half. And then, so from the time...
For him?
For you, you're going to be a year and a half, maybe longer. And then once you're...
I'm going to have the transcript.
I'm just telling you how long a process you could God forbid you have every bone broken in your body, and God forbid that happened. It's still going to take a year and a half because that's the process. That's the process it takes. Okay. Once you're done, then you transfer the file to Jamaica, and that takes months and months. So I'm telling you, realistically, it's 2 years away. I know you want to see him, but that's what it is.
Okay. So my work permit, however, I filed for a work permit and I also filed for a travel document. If approved, can I like go back and forth?
Yes.
And how long can I stay with the advance parole?
Don't stay out for more than a couple weeks at a time.
Okay, so I can visit like often, like maybe like twice a year?
Absolutely.
Thrice a year?
3 times a year, but don't stay out for more than a couple weeks at a time. 4 times a year. Just don't stay out a couple weeks at a time.
But the concern I have is the news, there's news going around that VAWA is set to...
It is set to expire on December 21st. We'll see what happens. All right. VAWA has been around since 1990. I don't believe there are many congressmen or congresswomen that would vote not to extend VAWA in some form, that people who are physically and extremely emotionally abused by their spouses shouldn't get help. Okay. It's going to be extended. It has always been extended. It's just caught up right now in this border wall fight.
Okay.
All right? So just hang in there.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Subash in Phoenix, Arizona. Subash.
Yeah, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Okay.
Wonderful.
So here's my question. Like, okay, let's say if I my ex like I'm here in a like H-1B visa, and my extension, like my LC is approved, and like that means like the extension is in process, and it doesn't mean that it can be like approved.
Wait,
So
I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. You're here on an H-1B visa, and what's in process?
My extension, my LCA is, yeah.
Okay.
My LCA, labor of
condition,
work,
right?
and
Labor condition, right?
Yeah, that is approved, and extension is in process. And now, what if like if I marry a U.S. citizen and like I initiate my green card process? Like how long it will take? So
6
right
months.
now,
6 months for your work. 6 months for your work
generally.
permit. 12, 18 months for a green card.
Wait, is it like maximum 6 months or like it's
I'm just
minimum
giving you.
6 months?
I'm giving you. It's average. But
okay, so
let me explain something to you. You get married. You get married to your U.S. citizen spouse. You are legally allowed to still be working on your H-1B for whoever you're working for. Also, if you were to quit, you hate your job, you were to quit. The fact that you are no longer working in your H-1B job would not prevent you from getting your work permit anyway, and it would not prevent you from getting your green card. So once you file your adjustment, you can violate your H-1B to your heart's content. You're going to get a green card and work permit anyway.
Yeah, but I cannot. I have to work with my H-1B visa, right? Until that.
If you want to be legally working, the answer is yes. Do you have to?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have to legally work when you are married to a U.S. citizen? Under the current law, the answer is no, you do not. Because the law says if you work out of status or you work without authorization and you're married to a U.S. citizen and you made a legal entry into America, that does not prevent you from getting your work permit and getting your green card.
I didn't get it. So like you're saying like I can work outside of H-1B visa, like even like if I'm married to a U.S. citizen?
What I am saying is this. You have to listen very, very carefully. I am not telling you to break the law, and I'm certainly not telling you to work illegally or out of status. What I am telling you is if you choose to do so, it will not prevent you from getting your work permit and your green card.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
All right.
And what happens if my extension is denied on like February or something?
You're married to a U.S. citizen. It doesn't matter. You will get everything here. That's why I said if you violate your status, if you're out of status, if your extension's denied, if you decide to go work and pump gas for a living, it doesn't matter. You're married to a U.S. citizen. You're going to get your work permit. You're going to get your green card. Think I could be any clearer, Kim? I don't think so.
Yeah, but the law will not allow me to work, right? Because my H-1B visa is denied, and I didn't still got.
You are not. You are not. Let me explain to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are. If your H-1B is denied, you are not legally allowed to work in America. However,
yes.
it is the obligation of the employer to determine whether or not you are legally allowed to work. I can't be any clearer. Hold on one second. All right. I mean, I can't spell it out for the man any more than that.
That was as spelled out as it could.
Spelled out as you could be.
Yes, that's true.
Without telling him to break the law.
Right. You don't do that.
I don't do that.
Rule follower.
Follow the rules. But if you were not to follow the rules, it's not going to hurt you.
It's not going to hurt you.
Does he understand that now?
I don't know that he got there.
Just try to explain to him the law. God damn it.
Oh, it's so hard. Wait.
All right, let's go to Sharath. Sharath.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
I want to know, is the skill migration based on country of birth or country of citizenship?
It's both. Didn't we have this discussion yesterday?
Yes, we did, actually. But
Yes.
I was still confused. That's
All
why
right.
I want to ask.
You're
this question
Australian.
different.
Yes, you can do it from Australia. Have a consultation. Hold on. Let's go to, I remember him, Daniel in Pleasantville, New Jersey.
Hi,
Daniel,
how are you, Brad?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I have like three real quick questions.
Yes.
My mom is a U.S. citizen. She filed for my brother. He's over 21, and she filed for him last year. She got the I-130 approval notice. How long does she have to wait?
It's about 6-7 year process from start to finish right now.
Okay. All right. Now, my other quick question is, I'm a green card holder, and I filed for my husband and then my daughter as a derivative beneficiary. That was put in last year, May 19. I haven't gotten an approval letter yet.
But you have you filed May, and it's and nothing yet.
May of last year.
And
Not even an approval letter.
You're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen?
A green card holder.
Oh, that's why. Just hang in there. Hang in there. If you're a
How
citizen,
much longer is it?
If you don't have an approval after 18 months, call me. From start.
If I don't have it after 18 months, call you?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Just hang in there.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right, Belgium Kim. BK Kim.
Yeah.
You see, we tell people what BK stands for.
It also can't be BK Kim because that's Belgium Kim Kim.
That is true. But we tell people what
That's true.
BK stands for.
Do you know what BK Ricky actually said to that?
What?
He said, "I'll tell you when I come to the office, Belgium Queen."
Is he Belgium King?
I don't know if maybe he's Belgium King.
Maybe he's Belgium King.
And I'm the queen.
And she's the queen. Aha.
I'll take it.
All right, we got to do something we call a social media check.
Yes, we do.
All right, what do you got?
I've got one question from Andre. I've got a question from Janet who said, "Can you travel out of the country without filing the advanced parole?"
If you don't have a green card, you can travel out of the country all you want without advance parole, but you ain't coming back.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they meant, Brad. We've got a question from Savannah who said, "I recently got my 10-year green card and I somehow could not find it anywhere in my house along with my passport. Can I apply for citizenship instead of getting a replacement green card and then just get my papers that way? If so, please let me know."
Yes, but you're going to need a photo ID to show who you are. So hopefully you have a driver's license from a state that is a real ID state.
Perfect. We've got a question from Danielle who said, my mom filed for my over 21-year-old brother and he got his approval letter in February of 2017. How much longer does he have to wait?
When did he file?
We don't know that. We just know that they got the approval.
It doesn't matter the approval. It matters when the application went in. That's the priority date. Start to finish, it's a 7-year process. Okay. So it's the priority date, not how long it took for the I-130 to be approved, but when was it filed?
Jermaine said, as a Jamaican with a green card, can one travel to countries like England?
Yes, but you need a visa. So if you're traveling on a Jamaican passport, you have to go to that country, Google that country. What are the requirements to enter that particular country with my Jamaican passport? Just because you have a green card doesn't mean you don't need a visa. Now, because you have a green card, it would be pretty simple to get a visa because the United Kingdom would say, why would you overstay your time in the United Kingdom? You'll go back to the United States.
We've got a question from Noj, which I'm pretty sure is John because it's John backwards. I'm applying for my EAD, but then the USCIS sent me back an RFE. I made my written statement and I sent it back, but the problem is that I actually forgot to sign my written statement. Is it possible that they're going to deny my EAD?
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know what the problem was, why you would even get an RFE on an EAD, because if you were done properly, you should never even have that happen.
Right.
I don't even know why you need a written statement for an RFE. I don't know what the problem was, though.
What evidence did they request?
Seems to be an issue.
Right. Zara said, I submitted all the documents at NVC. How long's the wait? How long do they usually take to review and schedule an interview?
Who's sponsoring you?
That's all the information I got.
I have no idea.
Zara, we need more information.
Yes.
Who's filing for you? When did they file?
Who's filing for you?
Who's filing for you? That's all you need, really.
And when?
And when. Perfect. Curly Girl Shauna said, I just received my I-797C for VAWA. I'd like to know what now? What happens next?
Wait for the approval.
And about how long should that be?
18 months.
We talked about this earlier, but we never gave her an answer. Christy said, based on Buju's conviction, would he ever be able to perform in America again?
The answer is yes, and I'll tell you why I know this for a fact.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I actually never represented him, although prior to 2011, his people called my people to see about me representing him.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the story.
But we never actually represented him. They didn't hire me. They hired another law firm.
That didn't work out too well.
But anyway, what I do know
is
that even prior to this, he had other prior drug convictions.
Oh.
So he even prior to this particular drug conviction,
right.
he would have needed a waiver to come to the United States. So he can never get a green card to live in the United States because he has these drug convictions.
Okay.
But he can get a work visa, which will be the O visa, as extraordinary ability visa to come to the United States, but he would need a waiver with it. And the waiver for the O visa, like any other non-immigrant visa, is they weigh the crime.
Mm-hmm.
What is preventing this person from entering the United States?
Okay.
Versus what is the benefit to the United States? So, for example, the benefit to the United States would be an economic benefit because he would be selling out all these arenas, and plus a cultural benefit because he's a Grammy Award-winning artist.
Right.
So, I mean, you can make all these arguments about all the benefits to the United States and the fact that he's not really a threat to commit further crimes because the man's performing. He's not coming here to run drugs.
Right.
I assume.
Right.
Something to that effect.
So we might.
So the answer is yes. He may come back to America
Ooh.
if he calls me.
That's definitely a show we would go to.
They did not ultimately hire me.
That was a poor decision on Buju's part.
Well,
sorry, man, but that just happened.
Well, what can I tell you?
When you're looking for the waiver to come bring that good music to the U.S., you know who to call. Dear Buju. Somebody tell him. Nessa said, how much is the filing fee for a green card?
Which green card are we talking about?
Just a green card, Brad.
Well,
Any
to
green
do the
card,
I-90 is $545 to replace the green card. I don't know what.
I'm assuming it's an I-130 situation.
Or an adjustment, it's $1,760.
Oof, that's a discrepancy.
That's a big. I don't know what she wants exactly. I don't know what she wants.
Somewhere between $500 and $2,000.
Correct. I don't know what she's doing.
John Cena has been wanting to ask this for ages. He says the 18 to 21 SIG I-360 applications are getting approved in New York now? Question mark.
They are not, but they should be, because it's been overturned by the courts. There's an injunction that immigration has to approve these cases. Now, they haven't done it yet. So my opinion is, if you're in the 18 to 21 SIG, you should be coming in and file mandamus actions to force them to do their job.
Ha-ha.
Aha.
And we got somebody to do that here, right?
No, we do.
Ha-ha-ha. Also, in other news, David Gabriel just said that if Buju comes, he'll take me with him.
Just like he was taking you to dinner in the Bronx,
yeah,
right?
I'm still waiting for my lobster.
Yeah. I mean, dinner in the Bronx is a lot cheaper than Buju tickets.
That's true.
All right, so I mean, if you're not getting dinner in the Bronx, I mean.
And I want the good seats.
That's right. We want front row.
Yeah.
We want
I
VIP.
want the sweats.
We want VIP, and we want the meet and greet. Chick.
That's right.
Right. You know, you ever,
a selfie.
Right. You ever do the meet and greet? Like they put you on, click. Get out of here now. Next.
Brad, do I look like I could afford the meet and greet?
You do the meet and greets all the time. Come on.
People meet and greet me, Brad.
That's right. For free.
For free. I actually go around begging people to take a picture with me.
I'm serious. I'm like the co-host here.
I go in the waiting room and I'm like, who wants a picture? Lorna said, my friend has been...
It's very true. She's so happy when somebody takes a picture of her.
It's so true.
It's free. You don't charge anything.
Yeah, and then the people have to look and be like, who is that?
Who is this person?
I don't care. Thanks. Lorna said, my friend's been married for 11 months and she's waiting for her interview. She was crying because she's not working and she spent $120 from their joint bank account and her husband cussed her out and threatened to divorce her. What can she do?
Sounds like a VAWA case.
Yeah, right? For $120 bucks?
Yeah.
That's a little...
It's a little
excessive.
Excessive.
I saw where you were going.
Thank you very much.
Mind meld.
I was saying excessive, but the word obsessive was coming out, but I meant to say excessive.
It could be obsessively excessive.
Sometimes I change up words.
I do that too.
Have you noticed that?
Yes, I have.
Especially after talking for 2 straight hours.
That's true. You can't win all the words. You can't bat 1,000 with the words.
I bat about 875. 87.5% of the time my words are correct.
I do not bat that high.
No, maybe 950%.
You don't.
99% I'm correct.
You're definitely not correct 99% of the time.
I am.
I don't.
You don't think I am? How dare you say that? When have I been wrong?
Don't make me do this.
When have I ever been wrong?
Vaginal.
What else?
The what of history? The annals. There it is.
Yeah, Mohammed bin Salam, right?
Yesterday for Shadan Majidi and Dino
Joseph. Yes. All right, so I get some names wrong.
You also got the name of the film wrong.
But that was not my fault.
No, the name of the film. That's true. That could be more.
Because on the card it said me the quote other. And it should have been me quote me the other.
That's fair, except that you talked to them for 45 straight minutes and
true.
watched that film.
And I should have known the name. I should have known the name. All right, let's continue. Touche.
Sorry, you asked.
Touche.
I came with the receipts.
Touche. Let me just text Letty to cut your salary half.
Oh no, I'll never do it again.
Yeah. Right.
Louis says, hey Brad, I'm out of status, married to a U.S. citizen for over a year now. He's been very abusive and in and out of prison for probation issues. He abandons me most of the time. What can I do?
File a VAWA application. Who says you need to be in an abusive relationship?
Yeah, we've got a lot of those today. Tanya says, how long is the I-130 taking these days to get approved?
Close to a year now, unfortunately.
Ooh. Tanisha, my friend is a permanent resident who went to Jamaica and spent 9 months there in 2014. How long from then can he apply for his citizenship?
5 years after he re-entered in 2014, so sometime in 2019.
Okay. Abduli said, I go to my interview for my I-130 3 months ago. So I went 3 months ago, and the officer told us I'm approved. But we still haven't gotten an approval letter, which I should say to the judge at my, what should I say to the judge at my removal hearing, and why is it taking so long to get an approval letter?
Judge, they told me it was going to be approved. I don't have it yet. Let's adjourn this until it gets approved.
Well, that sounds like an easy enough sentence.
Exactly.
Natasha said, I came with an H-1B visa and I got married to a green card holder. He filed my I-130 in 2016 and I got an approval. But after my approval, I've gotten no reply. My date says it's still available. I'm doing a waiver, but I've received no letter for fingerprinting. What's your advice to me?
Wait, so the tell me again, the I-130.
Filed in 2016 and she was adjusting from an H-1B after she got married.
And it's been 2 years?
It's been 2 years.
Come see me.
Major issue.
Major issue, and we'll figure it out. Finally,
Harry Powen said, I applied for my I-130 in February of 2016 and my wife's citizenship, but still I haven't received a letter for the interview. I received something in 2017 that my case is at the local office, but nothing since.
If it's been more than 24 months, you should be seeing me, and Aberdeen is going to be filing a mandamus action. That's for everybody. Pending adjustment, more than 2 years, you see us, Aberdeen is filing mandamus. It's exactly what's going to happen.
Aberdeen is going to sue the government for you guys, y'all.
Correct.
Boom.
All right, let's go to Norma in Queensboro, North Carolina.
Hello?
Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yes, hello?
Hello, Norma.
Can you hear me?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, I have a question. My mom, she's a resident, and my stepdad, he's American, he's citizen, and my brother, he's citizen, he's in the army. And my mom got married when I was 18, and I want to know if there's any chances of me getting, like the green card or something.
Well, it's not going to be through your stepdad because she got married after your 18th birthday. Now your mom has a green card?
Yeah, she does.
All right, so why doesn't she file for you now?
Huh?
She can file for you as a green card holder. It's going to take some time, but she should file for you.
Well, they told her it's going to take a lot of time, like 20 years.
Well, not 20 years. It's about 7, but it's better than nothing. Hold on one second. Hold on. Not 20 years.
No.
Belgium, Kim, are you okay over there?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing,
Oh,
Brad?
I thought you were having some issues.
No, not at all. What is
No,
this call
I heard things dropping.
I don't know what you're talking about, Brad.
All right. Anyways, I had an opportunity to speak to a gentleman by the name of Pinche. He owns a restaurant called Pinche Gringo BBQ Restaurant, and it's located in Mexico City. Now, besides having fabulous food, the restaurant, it's known for delicious barbecue and bringing American food to Mexico, which is all well and good,
right?
Not important enough to be on Brad Show Live. But add to that every person who works there is a former deportee from the United States of America.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was joined recently, and we're going to watch by co-owner Dan DeFosi and Pinche Gringo BBQ's kitchen leader, Hugo Hernandez. Hugo was a deportee from the United States who now works in Mexico at Pinche Gringo's barbecue restaurant. And they both joined to discuss the unique staff that they have at this restaurant. Let's watch. Pinche Gringo BBQ Restaurant, located in Mexico City, is known for bringing traditional Texas barbecue to Mexico. But the restaurant has also gained notoriety because its owners hire Mexicans who have been deported from the United States, giving the restaurant a true American feel with not only the food, but the employees who are familiar with American cuisine and culture. And more importantly, giving deportees a job and a sense of worth, purpose, and stability. With me today to discuss this unique restaurant is co-owner Dan DeFosi and Pinche Gringo's kitchen manager, Hugo Hernandez. Welcome, and thanks for coming on our show today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Brad.
So, Dan, where are you from? You're an American, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so how did you wind up in Mexico City running a Texas barbecue restaurant?
I was working for Apple up in New York. I'm from Long Island originally, lived in New York and in Manhattan for many years. Was working for them there, and they sent me down to Mexico to start an education program in Latin America. And about 3 years into my work down here in Mexico with Apple, I decided to make a big change in my life. There was no barbecue here in Mexico, and the opportunity to open up a new food category in a city of 23 million people is a huge opportunity. So my partner, who is Mexican, and I went to Austin. We learned how to make the barbecue. All of the pit masters, people working in the pits in Austin, were Mexican. So we were able to speak to them in Spanish, and they gave us access. We learned how to make brisket and pulled pork and ribs and sausage. Bought a 27-foot wide Airstream trailer, drove it down to Mexico City, found an empty lot, built a restaurant around it. And in December of 2013, we opened our doors with 8 picnic tables, this truck. I was the guy at the cashier, and Roberto, my partner, was cutting meat.
It's a huge change to go from working in a corporate environment to say, I'm going to open up a restaurant. And I assume you never ran a restaurant before. Not only open up a restaurant, but open up a restaurant in an area where you didn't even know anything about the food. You had to go to Texas to learn it. What was the inspiration for you to say, other than, okay, there's no barbecue in Mexico, or maybe that was it only?
I was inspired by my past experiences of being able to be a change agent and to break a paradigm and do something big and cool and different. And the fact that there was no barbecue in the city, and we're close to Texas. Mexicans love meat. The Argentinian restaurants are full here. So there was an opportunity to break a new barrier and bring in a new food category in a city of 23 million people. I don't think people have that opportunity anytime in their life to be able to do that.
All right, very cool. So now you try to make it as authentic American barbecue restaurant as possible. If we came to your restaurant, and we didn't know we were in Mexico City, for example, is there a difference between your restaurant being in Mexico and, say, a barbecue restaurant you would find, a traditional barbecue restaurant you would find in Texas or in somewhere in America?
I think the only thing is that you pay in pesos instead of dollars. Really, the only thing. And most of our employees speak Spanish. I think that we went out to bring an authentic American experience to our customers without tropicalizing it for the market. And I think we were very successful. Everything we do here is basically what you would see in the United States.
The customers that are coming, are they Americans who are traveling to Mexico, or are they locals?
We do find a large American population here coming to the restaurant, but the amount of Americans in proportion to the amount of restaurants here, it's very low. So 99% of our customers at all time are Mexicans, but the amount of foreigners that are coming here to eat is definitely higher than other restaurants.
Are you having your employees speak to them in English, or are they speaking in Spanish?
Yeah, I think sometimes our employees, when they feel really, good and excited to do it, they definitely speak to our employees in English. And that's a huge value add. There are a lot of employees that are bilingual here, and that becomes an advantage when we have foreigners coming, and it's the first time in their trip that they could speak to a customer service representative in English. And I think they get really excited about that.
Now, your restaurant, I understand, celebrates traditional American holidays, July 4th, Halloween. What is it exactly you do to celebrate there in the restaurant, and why do you think it's important?
Well, going back, I've been here almost 9 years in Mexico. And in my 9 years, I've had a wonderful gift in my life to learn about the cultural traditions here in Mexico. And while by opening up this restaurant, we decided that we were going to give that back and offer the traditional American cultures and customs that are really unique and authentic in the United States.
What do you do, for example, for July 4th? How do you celebrate it in your restaurant? And what's been the reaction, especially to the local Mexicans? I assume they have a lot of stereotypes about Americans.
It's funny for what types of things that Mexico thinks that we are. They think that we have frozen food, that we are just like the chains that are exported here to Mexico that people eat at. And we know that our cultures and our traditions are much more rich than that. And the great thing about barbecue is that barbecue has such a cultural and culinary history. It's regional. Mexicans have mole, and the mole in Pachuca is different than the mole in Oaxaca or Puebla or Mérida, and barbecue is very similar to that. But in terms of the traditional holidays like 4th of July, we celebrate by watching the Macy's fireworks display. We have a brisket eating contest that we have 8 contestants. They have 8 minutes to eat as much brisket as possible, and the winner wins a cash prize, just like the Nathan's hot dog competition in the US and in Coney Island. We serve hot dogs and hamburgers, and we have a great classic rock group. So people, when they're outside of the restaurant on 4th of July, it feels like a normal day in Mexico. But when they step in, it feels like there's a special holiday. And it's really cool because there's a lot of Americans that are living here that get homesick, that aren't able to travel home because they have to work. So when they come to us, they have a way to be transformed in the United States, but in the middle of Mexico City. Then we get a lot of Mexicans that have lived in the US before, have celebrated 4th of July, they've loved it, and they miss that, so they come and they celebrate with us. And then the third group are people that have never celebrated 4th of July before in their life. All they've done is seen it on TV in a movie, but they've never really experienced that. And when you have all three groups together celebrating the same holiday, it's a beautiful experience. And it's really cool to know that this is where barbecue diplomacy takes place, for us to realize that there's so many things about us that are more similar than different.
Now, your restaurant got a lot of notoriety lately because through the press and on social media, when it was discovered that you're hiring recent deportees or people who've been deported from the United States, who lived in the United States, who then got deported. How did this all start that you decided to start hiring deportees from the United States?
This was not a strategy for us. This is not something that we looked for. What happened is that when we went through our interviewing process and we started hiring people like Hugo, and I think Hugo was one of our first hires that had lived in the United States. And when we were hiring people with experience in the United States, it was a good business decision for us because they understand the culture. So when we're trying to celebrate a authentic Thanksgiving celebration, they have that understanding. When we have a large number of Americans that are eating here and they could speak to them in English, that's a great customer service offer that we have to make us a very authentic restaurant. And over time, more and more people were coming to us with this experience in the United States, and they were getting priority in the hiring. 6 months ago, I was brought into an interview with one of our candidates, Victor. And Victor's story was incredibly sad. He was living in the United States for 27 years. And during that time, he was working with a family. He had a wife, he had 2 children born in the United States, lived a very productive life and, respected the laws of our country, did everything the best he could. And then he went through a red light, unfortunately. One day he got pulled over by the police. They checked his identification and found out that he was an illegal immigrant. And a couple of weeks later, he found himself in Mexico City. All of his family live in the US, so he was here by himself. He was distraught being pulled away from his wife and his children and the person that he was working for such a long time. He didn't know what to do. He had some problems finding a place to live. And he came to us that day telling us his story, and I got really emotional. To me, when I hear those types of stories, it's understanding the effects of a public policy initiative in real time with real people. I wrote on my Facebook wall that this is ridiculous, that this is the effect of a public policy on people. And I decided that I was going to do my best to hire as many deportees that I possibly could. We're a small company. We have 57 employees, so there's not much that I could do, but definitely we partnered with a couple of organizations and hoping to find, deportees.
How many deportees actually work in your restaurant right now?
Well, over the time after I wrote that Facebook story, the LA Times discovered it, and 2 weeks later we were on the front cover. Because of that, Hugo walked into my office the morning of the interview and sharing his story with us, and he was very emotional by sharing it with me. And I knew that he left for some reasons, but I didn't know the real story. And then other people that were on our team started coming out and sharing with me their stories as well.
So you didn't really even know how many, even when that LA Times story came out?
Yeah, I didn't know how many there were. And then we identified there were 7 that were working with us at that time. And now we have 8 in total. We have a new guy that just came from New York. He was working inside his restaurant. They were tipped off that there were illegals working inside that restaurant. And so the police were waiting outside the restaurant after he finished his work and arrested him right there outside the restaurant.
Usually in restaurants, it's a revolving door of people. I know I have my favorite restaurants I go to all the time, and every 6 months there's new bartenders, new waiters, new host staff. I understand people working at your restaurant stay for much longer periods of time. Why do you think that is?
We have a value-added offer here. We understand that the blood, the soul of our company are our people, because I'm not in front of the customers every day. I'm not making the brisket and pulled pork, or working around the clock in the evenings and the night to make that stuff happen. My team is. And I think that it's something that I wish more people would share, but is not really shared, that you have to support your people, pay them well, treat them well, be kind, be fair, get to know them, get to understand their stories, connect with them, because these are the guys that are deciding every day to give, a little, a bit more, or all they got to make sure that the aims of your business are being met at all times. And so when we offer that value add to people and give them our respect and our confidence and our love and our trust, then they have positive experiences here. And I think for people like Hugo and some other people that are working here, they felt that and they feel connected with each other.
I assume you celebrated your restaurant too, Thanksgiving. How did that go? How did Thanksgiving go at your restaurant?
It was a beautiful day. We upped up the ante this year because it's been very popular. This is our 5th edition. We were ready with a larger restaurant that we opened last year to accept more people. So it was a huge challenge. We cooked over 2,800 pounds of turkey. And one of the benefits of all the press that we've been getting for what we've been doing is that we have a lot of other organizations coming out of the woodwork and connecting with us, and we've been connecting them to other migrants that have come back home. We had hosted 50 deportees at the restaurant on Thanksgiving Day. And, we did the same thing for 4th of July. And I was a little reserved about it because I didn't think that people who were deported coming back to Mexico would want to celebrate anything American. And what I learned is that they're able to separate the politics, the politicians, from our culture and our people, and they miss home because Mexico is not home for them. The United States is home. And some of these guys that are coming back, they've never lived here in their lives. They were born there. They're dreamers. They don't speak Spanish. They speak English. So when they came here on Thanksgiving, it gave them a reminder of what home was like. And everybody was happy. Everybody had smiles on their faces. I met a young guy named Ismael. He had a wife, 3 children. He had a very big business, multi-million-dollar business. He was stopped in the Dallas area. They checked his ID, found out he was illegal, and he got sent to Mexico. And so he's sitting in Mexico, lost, without his family. And we were very proud that we were able to offer him not a replacement, but something that he felt good about.
It's so funny. I'm listening to you, and Pinche Gringo to me sounds so much more than a restaurant, which I think is why you're getting all of this publicity and everybody's so interested in your restaurant. Besides the fact that you give a very good meal there and food's excellent, you're giving an experience of what an American restaurant would taste like, feel like. But it also sounds like it's almost like a pseudo-cultural center to me, in a way, for people who kind of miss America.
That was something that we started out when we had the small restaurant. And this is a country that I absolutely love. The people here are amazing. The climate is wonderful. The food is delicious. The music is great. Color of this country. I mean, there's no country like it, especially here in Mexico City. And so my give back to my city that has welcomed me. And don't forget, I'm an immigrant. Now, no one would call me that because socioeconomically, maybe I am, higher class. And so people would call me an expat, but I really am an immigrant. And Mexico has welcomed me with open arms. I've never in my entire time here had anybody tell me anything differently or to go home or not welcome me or feel any kind of racism or stereotype. Nothing like that. And I'm very grateful for that. Over time, we started doing different things that aren't available in Mexico, but we enjoy in the United States, like stand-up comedy, American music, country music, watching the Super Bowl, those types of experiences that aren't available here, but we were able to offer in our restaurant. We just opened last May a 37,000 square foot warehouse. It's an enormous place. When we signed the lease, it was right after the election in 2016. And what we decided to do was we were going to try our best to break down walls here in this city and have a place for Mexicans, Americans, and anybody all over the world to come together and to celebrate these types of events and holidays and American culture right here in this restaurant. That we were more than a barbecue restaurant. Barbecue is something about our culture that is really important, but also that the cultural experience that people have when they walk into Pinche Gringo for the first time. We have a beautiful flag that is the American flag, but in the colors of the Mexican sarape. And we have a mural on the front of our building that the day after the election, I wrote a letter on Facebook talking about what should we do now after this election. And what the message was is that we're going to reject xenophobia and racism We're going to embrace synergies. We're going to embrace the cooperation amongst our two countries. We're going to present our authentic cuisine of barbecue, bring down walls, and embrace the energy and the friendship that they have between our two cultures. It got so much feedback on Facebook that we painted that letter on our front wall. So when people come to our restaurant, they're welcomed by a message of inclusion and cooperation and love between our two cultures.
Is that letter in English or Spanish when people are coming in, or you have it translated both ways?
It's in Spanish. I think that the language is understandable in both cultures.
And what does Pinche Gringo mean in English?
The word pinche in the Spanish dictionary is the cook's assistant. And over the history of that word, the pinche in the kitchen would do bad things in the kitchen. They wouldn't clean right or whatever. So the word pinche became part of the vernacular as kind of like darn or damn. But it's also a term of endearment. Like I can, Hugo might make a joke here and I'll say to him, pinche Hugo. So it means a term of love and appreciation. And we decided to call the restaurant Pinche Gringo because sometimes Americans come here to Mexico. We have a sense of arrogance because we've been trained all our life that we represent freedom and democracy and all these great things. So when you come to Mexico, in a developing country, and Mexico has its share of problems just as much as they have its beautiful, wonderful gifts, we tend to compare it to the United States. By calling ourselves Pinche Gringo gives us that sense of humility instead of the arrogance, to welcome people in for the first time and to allow them to accept our culture and the things that we do without it appearing to be kind of like this American imperialism. The name is the most important decision we made. It brings a lot of smiles to people's faces and allows people to open up their mind and their soul to something different.
Is there a website that someone can go to check out this restaurant if they're coming down to Mexico or just learn more about your restaurant?
Our main website is pgbbq.mx. We're all over social media, on Twitter at Pinche Gringo BBQ. Also, and our Instagram is the same. And you can visit our Facebook site at PGBBQ. I know it's kind of strange for an American to come to Mexico and want to eat American food here, but I definitely believe it'll be a unique experience for everybody that wants to come, share in all the cool things that we're trying to do here to promote American culture in Mexico.
Tell me what your dreams are for Mexico, the United States, for Dan, your restaurant.
My dream isn't necessarily American. I think our dreams for all of us is to live a happy life. And I really found in Mexico beautiful people, a beautiful culture, beautiful scenery, beautiful mountains and beaches and weather. And I mean, so many things here that is not talked about in mainstream media. Mostly it's talked about is immigration and people running away and violence. And, I took my team to Austin, Texas about a month ago to go to the barbecue festival. And we learned a lot about barbecue. We came back and our house was robbed. And they stole all of our things. So it was pretty ironic that I have so many people from the US telling me that it's dangerous to go to Mexico, that we should be afraid, that, you have to your belongings. And then I take, my Mexican team to the United States. And not only did we get robbed, the police took 3.5 hours to come help us. So there's a lot of different perspectives. And when you're looking at it in a different lens, I think your opinions can change about this country.
Hugo, he's one of your main employees. He was living in the United States for over 10 years, I understand, and got deported. Hugo, how you doing? And thanks for coming on.
Thank you for welcoming me.
Tell me when you first arrived to the United States, if you remember the year you came and how you came to America.
It was 15 years ago. I couldn't find a job here in Mexico. Having a tattoo in your body, you could look like a gang member. And one of my cousins was living in Florida, and so he called me and told me, you know what, you wanna get a job, come over here and I'll help you out. So I didn't think about it twice, and I decided to jump the border illegally. I crossed the river and I walked 4 days on the desert.
Did you come across anybody in those 4 days?
No, I didn't see any police or any ICE officer.
What year was this?
2004.
And how did you know what direction to walk in?
Because I didn't go on myself.
You hired a coyote to bring you over.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Was America what you thought it was going to be, or was it different? You're living poor in Mexico, you can't find a job, you cross the border, you walk 4 days in the desert. What was the same? What was different?
Well, it wasn't exactly like the American dream that everyone is talking about. It was more like having to work like every single day from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., not getting like a decent pay. But, I think it's part of the deal when you try to come in illegally to the United States, and it's difficult. After that, I started working in a restaurant, and then things got a little bit better there. Started making a little bit more money and to work the jobs in order to pay the rent and make some money to send over to Mexico.
You were in the United States for 10 years, I understand. How did you get caught by immigration? What happened?
I got pulled over by a police officer, and I came from a party in downtown Orlando. And I wasn't drunk, but I got a couple of beers, so the officer got me a DUI. And after that, it was like a year on probation, and after that, I got a warrant for my arrest by the judge because I didn't finish all the requirements that the law asked for my DUI. That was when I got deported.
Were you in immigration detention for how long?
3 months.
And then how did they get you back to Mexico? They flew you on a plane?
Exactly. I landed on Matamoros.
And when they dropped you off on the plane, did you have money? Did you have clothes? What happened when they dropped you off the plane?
I only had the clothes that I had when they arrested me. One of my friends put some of my money that I had on my account in the county. So I used that money to buy a toothbrush and toothpaste and peanut butter and coffee because we didn't have that much food on when you're on.
How rough was it emotionally for you to be back in Mexico?
It was emotional because it was like seeing my parents and all my family after 10 years. It was like a good thing, but also it was like strange because I spent a big part of my life there.
How hard was it to find work in Mexico? Was it different?
No, I was lost. I couldn't find an income to what I was used to in the United States. It's difficult because like the restaurant industry, it doesn't pay according to what you know what to do.
So how did you find Pinche Gringo?
It was really random. I wanted to go to Cancun to try my luck. It was like almost like a miracle that I found Dan and Roberto, and I started working with them. Having the mentoring of Dan and Roberto made me personally a better person. The income is better, so my life in that sense is better. I'm in peace now.
I'm going to ask you anyway. Tell me the truth. Is it an authentic American restaurant? I mean, they're playing football on the television. Is it what he's saying it is?
It is actually. It's a real American experience coming into the restaurant with big screens, with country music playing live, beer and draft, with all the barbecue, smoke in the restaurant, all the mix of cultures coming into the restaurant. It's just like an American restaurant. So and I'm working for a gringo.
Do you miss America?
I miss all my friends in America. I miss the places. Of course, I have only love for the United States, and of course I miss it.
Do you consider yourself more Mexican or more American, or a combination of the two?
I'm completely Mexican, but I have a deep love, and I'm thankful for the United States.
Tell me what your dreams are for the future. Where do you see yourself?
Well, I see myself at some point in my life having my own business, of course, and at some point I want to go back legally with my son and show him how is the life over there, but just like visiting.
Well, Hugo, I'm very sorry you got deported. It's actually unfortunate and sad, but it sounds like you're making a life for yourself there in Mexico. So for that, congratulations. Dan, congratulations to you. It sounds like a wonderful idea and an amazing experience to go to this restaurant. And hopefully if I'm in Mexico City, I will stop by. And thank you both for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brad.
All right, so there you have it, Belgium Kim. Pinche Gringo, Mexico City. It's actually nice. You see somebody gets deported, you're like, oh, my life sucks, but now all of a sudden my life's pretty good again.
Right.
So it's like you remake yourself.
And you have like little callbacks from home and the things. I love that.
All right, what do we got for comments of the day, Belgium Kim? Comments of the day.
So we've got several, Brad, because
by the way, that was not the right. We were supposed to. Yes, we'll change it.
Too late. So Abigail Taylor Watson says, Hump Day News is going to be popcorn worthy, so going to get it and come right back.
I agree.
She was right.
It was definitely popcorn worthy.
She was absolutely
It definitely
right.
was.
Yannick said, I was just sitting here wondering how come Brad doesn't pop up on my phone anymore. And then I saw that I was logged out of Facebook. What a relief.
Do you know somebody came in today and said, I don't see you on Facebook anymore. I go, what are you talking about? I'm on Facebook every day. And YouTube. And they're like, oh, it's because I don't go on Facebook anymore. Well, then obviously, I mean, literally that was the conversation.
Then that's not your fault,
It's not my fault.
Right.
I should pop up.
Right.
Always.
You got to have ocular
Log in.
confirmation that
Log
Brad's
in.
still here.
That's it.
Malia Loban Martin.
Yes.
Or Malia, as you like to call her.
Malia.
Malia.
Right.
She says.
Jessica Leamy.
Jessica Leamy. She says, Sexucation was so hot today.
Yeah.
They came hot off the press, Brad.
Hot off the press.
Andre watches us all the way from Indonesia, as you know.
Yes, I know Andre.
Yeah, I know you know
He sends
Andre.
me emails every so often.
What a nice,
Very nice guy.
What a nice viewer.
We
We,
like
love
Andre.
our
We like
viewers.
Andre.
Andre says, good evening to you, Kim, Yo-Yo, that's not here, and Brad. It's funny, I'm on a year-end leave right now until January, so I don't need to set my alarm to wake up and watch the Brad Show.
Wow, he gets up very early to watch.
He does, and he said, normally I have to set it when I have to work, but now that I'm on leave,
why
I just
can't
stay up.
he doesn't have to get up early to watch it. I mean, he gets up early to watch it live, but he doesn't have to. He can watch it after the fact.
Yeah, but the live is the best.
It's much more exciting.
Right, exactly. And then finally, we've got Don Harriet with a question that everybody wants to know the answer to, Brad.
Do I have to answer this?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Brad,
Yes.
you're great. Do
Thank
you
you.
talk immigration in your sleep?
No.
What?
You should only know when I talk in my sleep. You should only know
What
when
do
I
you
talk in
say?
my sleep. Hump Day News. See you tomorrow.
So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?